Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Corpus Christi. My name is Tess Cherry, and I am pleased to be your leader today. No, the fearless leader is over there. Whoever said that, she's over there. Whether this is the first time you've been with us or you've been with us for years, both here in person and online, we unconditionally welcome you as your full, authentic self. We're excited to welcome you to our worship service this morning. We welcome all faiths and no faiths. In particular, we welcome you as you are and whoever you love and wherever you are on your journey. Our gathering together during this time has intention and purpose. This space at this time is holy and sacred. Though we may sometimes fall short of our ideals, we come together with the intention to grow as spiritual and moral beings. To that end, we recite a covenant each week, which is not a creed, but a promise we make to one another. We live within our values, interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, with love at the center. We have a few announcements this morning. Announcement number 1. Draft printouts of the pictures and contact information to be included in the January 2026 pictorial directory are taped in the hallway. Please confirm your picture and contact info by January 11th. This includes whether you are accurately listed as a member. We don't want to miss anybody. Any changes should be provided to Debbie Sunderman. Where is my mother? In the back. Book club. Warning, warning, warning. Book club will meet January 16th. You will be discussing chapters 1 to 3, 2 p.m. here at U2C3. And your book title is The Art of Not Giving a Counterintuitive Approach to Living a Good Life. We are still doing our hygiene collection. We're looking for small items that can be used in a cart or anything like that, so like travel size stuff, maybe not that small, but still small enough. January 11th is kind of going to be the end of that. We'll be doing before and after assembling the kits. There is a special request for hot hands in our cold weather. And there is a sign up to assemble kits in the foyer. And thus endeth our announcements. It is our custom in this church to offer visitors and newcomers a chance to introduce themselves if they feel comfortable doing so. If it is your first time here, or you just feel ready to say hello after coming for a while, we invite you to stand as you are able, or raise your hand and tell us your name and where you are from. Ren will be bringing the microphone around so that you can introduce yourself and to us in person and our audience online. Are there any visitors or newcomers here today who would like to introduce themselves? Going once. Going twice. And we're sold. All right, no one knew. Welcome. We are glad you are here. We welcome you and invite you to please join us for a conversation after the service. We would love to get to know you. Our service will now begin. before we do our chalice lighting, we are going to open our circle. So, there are 4 designated people. If I could get you to your positions, we need east, south, west, and north. Hey, Michael, where are people supposed to go? You know what? That's just rude. That's just rude. All right. So, we will start our opening with the east. And thank you, Ren, for grabbing the microphone.
Winter is a time for cold winds and freezing breezes. Spirit of the East, yours is the power of clarity and inspiration. By the air that is her breath, bring forth your power and be with us in this solstice night.
South.
Winter is a time for sitting in front of roaring flames, for fire, for warmth, and blazing candles for light. Spirit of the South, yours is the power of passion and transformation. By the fire that is her spirit, bring forth your power and be with us this solstice night.
West.
Is out of breath. Winter is a time of snowflakes falling and water turning to ice. Spirit of the West, yours is the power to cleanse and heal. By the water that is her blood, bring forth your power and be with us this solstice night.
North.
North. Winter is the time of barren earth and crops returning to the ground. Spirit of the North, yours is the power to produce, grow, and nurture. By the earth that is her body, bring forth your power and be with us this solstice night.
Thank you. And our circle is open. Next, we're going to light our chalice. Zeta, come on down. We light this chalice here in the darkness of winter as we wait. This temporary space is one filled with prayers to be answered, love to be given and received, miracles to be witnessed. May this light guide us until the light of the sun returns again. Vaughn?
That microphone, okay. I may, if possible, put that in the sand. I don't know if that's okay.
For today, yes.
Okay, because I'm afraid some of the places where the candles are in there need some cleaning and they're not in real tight, and don't want them to fall out. The Hanukkah story tells of the miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days and the reason why that was significant. But instead of retelling the history, I'll read what was said on the occasion of the inauguration of the national menorah. And most of this that I'm going to be saying is in quotes, so first quote. The season of Hanukkah commemorates the perpetuation of age-old dreams and the hunger of men and women down through the ages to maintain a spirit committed to life under the most difficult circumstances, the most difficult persecutions, the most difficult dangers, and under the most difficult suffering. It also commemorates humankind's commitment to be free, close quote. Apparently, it was the 5th night of Hanukkah when this was being done because the speaker noted that a single candle had been used to light 5 others, and yet, quote, it itself has not been diminished. It shows that when we give life and love to others, the life and love in our own hearts is not diminished. The speaker added that, again quoting, we pray that our closeness to God, our memory of these fine commitments of human beings down through the ages, will strengthen our desires to share our life and our love for men and women throughout the world who don't always have freedom and whose lives might be in danger. The speaker was the President, Jimmy Carter. This was 1979. Carter's statement shows that the Hanukkah story teaches a lesson that goes beyond the events from over 2,000 years ago. Even though it's a Jewish holiday, it has a universal message. And now I will light the menorah and hope that the candles don't start a major fire.
Fingers crossed, everybody. Thank you, Vaughn. Okay. If you could please rise in body or spirit as we recite the affirmation of our church covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all we hold sacred. Please be seated. Good morning. I am also your religious exploration coordinator here at U2C3. The story for all ages will start in a moment, but I would like to remind everyone this is an all ages service, so we will not be singing out the children. You will stay in here with us. And now our story.
The Shortest Day, celebrating the winter solstice. Written by Wendy Pfeiffer, illustrated by Jesse Reich. In late autumn, in the northern part of the world, squirrels hide nuts, foxes grow thick fur coats, and flocks of birds fly to warmer places. The sun rises later each morning and sets earlier each evening. Each day it appears lower in the southern sky. As the sun gets lower and lower, the north gets less and less daylight. The air grows colder. Chickadees fluff their feathers to keep warm. Woodchucks hibernate in their burrows, and white-tailed deer nuzzle through the snow to find the last blades of grass. On short winter days, children bundle in their warm clothes and walk through a frosty white world, dragging long shadows behind them. On long winter nights, families eat dinner while it's dark outside. Children wonder when the days will get long again so they can play outside after dinner, like they did in summer. In the north, on or around December 21, the sun reaches its lowest point on the horizon, making that day the shortest day of the year. Like all days, December 21 has 24 hours, but it's called the shortest day because it has the fewest hours of daylight. The shortest day, called the winter solstice, is the beginning of winter, and in some places winter means cold, nose-nipping weather. The earth tilts as it moves around the sun. When the northern part of the earth tilts away from the sun, the north gets less heat and light than the southern part. Long ago, people didn't understand how the earth tilts and moves around the sun. They didn't understand why each day had less sunshine than the day before. Some believed that evil spirits made the sun go away. People feared that the sun wouldn't shine on them anymore, making their world cold and dreary dark. They needed the sun's warmth and light. So did their plants, which they needed for food. They held ceremonies that lasted for weeks to persuade their gods to bring the sun back. Over the years, people noticed that after short days, the days got gradually longer. Joyous people bathed in the sun's warmth and light. They celebrated their harvests. About 5,000 years ago, people who studied the sky noticed that day after day the sun sets in different places on the western horizon. They discovered that when the sun set farthest south, that was the shortest day. These early astronomers planned to mark the shortest day. Then each year, people would know when the days would start getting longer again. On the day when the sun reached its southernmost point on the horizon, the astronomers carried out their plan. Workers stacked stones to frame the sun setting. They made a special opening, like a keyhole or the eye of a needle. When the setting sun's rays beamed through that opening, people knew the shortest day was over. Days gradually got longer for the next 6 months. When the sun appeared farthest to the north, its rays shone through another keyhole. People knew it was the longest day of the year, the first day of summer. In China, over 3,000 years ago, astronomers measured shadows to determine the shortest day. The longest shadows appeared on the shortest day because the sun was at its lowest point in the sky. They knew that as the sun appeared higher in the sky, the shadows would get shorter and the days would get longer. Over 2,000 years ago, Romans celebrated the shortest day with festivals and merrymaking. They gave evergreen branches to friends as a sign of good luck. Evergreen wreaths decorated their doors. Since these plants stayed green when others turned brown, they reminded the Romans of the coming spring. Mistletoe and holly hung in their homes because plants that survived the harsh winter were symbols of life. Many people believed these plants would bring strength to their families. About 1,000 years ago, Europeans celebrated the winter solstice. Druid priests of England and Ireland decorated oak trees with golden apples and candles to represent harvest and light. In Sweden, a festival of light celebrated the return of longer days. On St. Lucia's Day, girls wore crowns of evergreens and candles to rekindle the sun's fire as they delivered warm buns to family and friends. Boys went from door to door singing to the neighbors for a few coins. Around the same time in history, the Incas of Peru marked the shortest day with a festival in honor of the sun. At dawn, when the sun first appeared, shouts of happiness rang out. Then the Incas used a shiny surface to reflect the sun's rays onto fluffy, dry cotton. The sun heated the cotton and made it burst into flames. They carried the fire to their temples and kept it burning on the altars all year because it came from one of their gods, the sun. Today, people still celebrate the beginning of winter by decorating their houses, lighting the darkness, gathering together, and exchanging gifts. They no longer worry that the sun will disappear forever. People know that days get colder when their part of the earth tilts away from the sun. They know that days get shorter when the sun appears lower in the sky. People celebrate the shortest day because longer days follow. Flocks of birds will return, seedling oak trees will sprout, and children can play outside after dinner. For more than 5,000 years, people have welcomed the winter solstice because it's a new beginning.
Would like to remind the young and young at heart, we are staying within the service. After our meditation, reading, and time of silence, and when the music begins, all who would like to are invited to come up to the chalice table and light a candle, representing a joy or sorrow you may be holding in your heart today. Please come up one at a time. I'm going to say this will be the line over here, just because it's a little easier to get through than moving around our lovely little spiral here. And keep in mind, the further lit candles are placed in the sand, the less of a risk to the next person's hand. If you are with us online today, you are welcome to share your joys and sorrows in the chat feature. Our meditation words are by Annie Forrester. Come we now out of darkness. Come we now out of the darkness of our unknowing and the dusk of our dreaming. Come we now from far places. Come we now into the twilight of our awakening and the reflection of our gathering. Come we now all together. We bring unilluminated our dark caves of doubting. We seek unbedazzled the clear light of understanding. May the sparks of our joining kindle our resolve, brighten our spirits, and reflect our love, and unshadow our days. Come, we now enter the dawning. Good morning again. We have called the corners in this space for our pagan and earthbound traditions. And we have opened our circle to invite our open hearts and open minds to the attributes of each direction. As Unitarian Universalists, we honor and draw upon the wisdom and spirituality of our 6 sources. Among these sources are the spiritual teachings of each of earth-centered traditions that celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. This year, here where we live, the winter solstice occurred December 21st at 3:21 a.m. 9:03 today. My script is wrong, I apologize. It is at that moment in the northern hemisphere when the Earth's axis is tilted the furthest from the sun. Northern locations furthermost from the equator have a day with the least amount of sunlight. We will experience the beginning of winter while people in the southern hemisphere will celebrate the summer solstice and the beginning of summer. Pre-Christian peoples celebrated the turning of the wheel of the year with festivals of firelight and feasting, honoring the death of increasing darkness and rebirth or return of the light. Solstice is from the Latin sol, stitit, I probably butchered that, sorry, meaning sun stood still. Carolyn McVicker Edwards explains this in her book, The Return of Light. For 6 days in the northern hemispheres, December, the sun ceases its southerly crawl on the horizon and appears to rise and set in almost the same spot. The ancients watched this quiet drama with drawn breath. Would the sun move again? Would life itself continue? Today, those who follow an earth-centered spirituality mark the changing of the seasons by dividing the wheel of the year into 8 sections, beginning and ending with the winter solstice. The winter solstice is a time for us to try to remember, slow down, breathe, and reflect amidst the buzz of preparing for the winter holidays, filled with gifts, festive celebrations, and family gatherings. We may have to deal with schedules and obligations that seem to ask too much of us at a time where nature is whispering, slow down, rest, go deep to find peace. We humans may feel there is not enough time, energy, or resources to do what must be done. How can we find a balance between nature and our daily lives? We can look for that simple blessings of candlelight, cozy blankets, cookies, and cocoa, and a fire for those of us who have a fireplace or fire pit, and it's cold enough. We can reach out to offer or accept a hug or a smile, which assure us that at this moment we are okay, safe, and balanced and whole. Breathing in the same, now is the only moment. And we can open our hearts to the laughter and joy of the season, which comes not in expensive presents, but in gifts of loving kindness for ourselves and others. We can look for smiles and the satisfaction that come when we open our imaginations to the gifts of our spirits. Instead of one big event, our holidays can be a collection of simple pleasures and moments of quiet joy. And I have a poem written by C.C. Williford that I'd like to share with you today, entitled, "'Twas the Night Before Yuletide." 'Twas the night before Yuletide, and all through the hall not a person was stirring, not even a thrall. Our swords were all laid by our bedsides with care, in case feuding enemies should appear here. Berserkers were nestled, all snug in their beds, with visions of carnage and severing heads. Me with my tunic and my wife in her dress had just settled ourselves for an uneasy rest. When outside the doors arose such a howl, I sprang from my bed. Was a wolf on the prowl? Into the yard I ran like a dart, causing the chickens to squabble and start. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow painted pictures of ghouls with shadows below. When what may wondering eyes did conceive, but a terrible rider on an 8-legged steed. With warrior maidens and ghosts of dead men, I knew in a moment it must be Woden. More rapid than eagles, his cursors they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Brynhild, now Kara, now Sirgen and Thrud, on Skalmold, on Rota, on Hildur and Skald. From the soul of the bondsman to the ghost of the thrall, now capture them, capture them, capture them all. As dead leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they must meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the top of the forest they flew, with the whole ghostly horde, and old One Eye too. And then in an instant, I heard just ahead the scream of the Valkyries and wails of the dead. As I ran back to the hall and was turning around, through the door burst Woden and his wolves with a bound. He was dressed in dark blue from head to his foot, and Jerry and Freaky were blacker than soot. In one hand he held a spear, in the other a sword, and he looked like a general, ready for war. One side of his face was shadowed and scary, and the eye I could see was red as a cherry. An aura of darkness surrounded his form, and the beard of his chin was gray as a storm. He resembled the wolves as they bared his teeth, and he wore a gold ring on his arm like a wreath. He gave me a glare and went right to my belly, and I quivered all over like a bowl full of jelly. He was muscled and broad, a right fearsome right, and I knew I would be getting no more sleep that night. He gave a wink of his eye and a twist of his head, and he searched the hall for the wandering dead. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and claimed the ghost of my grandpa buried under the hearth. With no more lost souls in the hall to pursue, he gave me a nod, and out the entrance they flew. He sprang to his steed, to his team gave a cry, and they all flew like ravens into the sky. But as they rode out of sight, I hear Woden roar, "Happy Yule, all, one and all. Now let's go get some more." May you, okay, all right, that's a poem right there. May you find joy in the simplest of things, the lighting of a candle, a cup of tea, and a cookie, a good book, an evening walk, holding the hand of a loved one, or a kind of compassion word of encouragement. May the spirits of peace and togetherness bless our lives during this holiday season. And may know what you are not alone, for all those here are family, and we love you. Our ritual today involves the symbolic retrieval of the light from the darkness. And Lauren will be demonstrating this for our people. At the center, a lit candle is placed, and each person is invited to make their way through the spiral to the center, carrying an unlit candle. When the center candle is reached, they light their own candle off of the central candle and then place it somewhere along the spiral as they make their way back out. As each person places their candle along the path, the light in the room slowly grows. It is a quiet and moving experience both to participate in and to watch. And do not take a real candle. Adults, you have seen it demonstrated. Now it is your turn to walk the sacred spiral. Thank you. We really appreciate you lighting our sacred spiral. Now is the time we participate in the care of our church community by giving and receiving the offering. If you are contributing to your pledge today, please write pledge on your check or cash envelope. When the music begins, the ushers will present the offering basket to you, and all you have to do is drop your offering in. No passing required. In addition to the basket, and for those joining us at home, we have several options for making a Sunday offering. Please use the links on screen to give through our website, by PayPal, or by using the Vanco mobile app. Your offering, no matter how you make it, will be gratefully received. We will now proceed with the collection of the offering. Please remain seated after the music is over for the closing of our service and reprisal of the music.
Time, 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 see what's become of me. Time, 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 see what's become of me. While I looked around for my possibilities, I was so hard to please. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Hear the Salvation Army band. Down by the riverside, it's bound to be a better ride than what you've got planned. Carry your cup in your hand. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Hang on to your hopes, my friend. That's an easy thing to say, but if your hope should pass away, simply pretend that you can build them again. Look around, grass is high, fields are ripe, in the springtime of my life. Seasons change with the scenery, weaving time in a tapestry. Won't you stop and remember me? Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground.
We close our service today with words by Eric Williams titled There is Light. In the beginning there was light, infinite and expansive, flowing out from an unseen center. Throughout creation there is light, from the steady sun, the glowing moon, the flashing meteor, and twinkling stars, and the auroras dancing in the northern skies. Within each part of creation, there is light, slowed down and held close by every cell and molecule, by each atom and element. Within you, there is light, the same light as the source, the same radiance that is in all creatures. May this small flame be a constant reminder to you of your true nature and your kinship with all beings. Blessed be.
Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground.
If you did not walk our spiral at our time, please feel free to walk it after service. We encourage you to experience this spiritual ritual. This is the end of our service. Blessed be, and have some good coffee and cookies, I believe. Apples? Apples. Apples.